Welcome to the Soy Sauce. We're whipping up engaging discussions and insights on incredible books
Pulling out the most powerful insights and practical takeaways.
so you can absorb incredible wisdom and spark new ideas all on your terms.
Let's sprinkle some soy sauce on your next book adventure.
All right, let's dive right into this source material then. We've got the power of small steps here, and it's really looking at something I think we all struggle with. How do you actually make those big, lasting changes without, feeling completely overwhelmed or just giving up before you even really start?
Right, exactly. And this deep dive is all about getting under the hood of that, understanding how these tiny, seemingly insignificant actions can actually be your most powerful allies for real success.
So the mission is really to grasp how these minor steps kind of sneak past our usual defenses.
Yeah, bypass that resistance and build genuine, lasting momentum. It's quite clever, actually.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Why are the small steps supposedly so effective? The book argues they help you sidestep the usual roadblocks, the things that normally trip us up when we aim high.
That's a huge part of it. It's less about forcing yourself with sheer willpower.
Yeah, which often fails.
Which often fails, yeah.
Yeah.
It's more strategic. And it's not just avoiding the bad stuff, the failure. It's actively building something positive.
Okay.
The source mentions cultivating an appetite for continuous success. You get these little wins, however small, and that actually makes you want the next one. It feeds itself.
Ah, okay. Like building momentum. And this sounds a lot like the Kaizen concept, doesn't it?
It connects directly, yeah.
Yeah.
That whole idea where the first step is tiny, almost trivial sometimes.
Right.
But doing that tiny thing regularly, that's where the magic happens. It compounds over time into something really significant.
But here's what I find fascinating to think, like the counterintuitive bit. We usually think, big goal, big effort needed. But this source says, hang on, maybe those massive, overly ambitious starts are actually bad. They can backfire.
They really can. Our brain sees this huge mountain to climb and just kind of shuts down and screams, too much, too scary.
Yeah, that feeling's familiar.
But these tiny actions, they need hardly any time, hardly any resources. And the book uses this phrase, they deceive the brain.
Deceive the brain. How so?
Well, it's like your brain looks at the action and thinks, oh, this is nothing. It's so trivial. It's barely a change. Why resist?
Ah, so it slips under the radar of that internal alarm system.
Exactly. That system that usually yells, warning, effort required, potential failure ahead.
And the surprising outcome, according to the book, is that this often leads to change happening faster. That seems odd.
It does, but it makes sense when you think about it. You're not wasting energy fighting that internal resistance. You don't feel intimidated or upset or overwhelmed by the task itself.
So you just do it.
You just do it. It
Yeah.
sounds almost too simple, maybe, but that seems to be the core idea.
Can you give an example from the book? How does this play out practically?
Sure. Think about, say, overspending. A huge, maybe overwhelming step is, right, I'm cutting out all non-essential spending now.
Yeah, that sounds hard and likely to fail for many people.
Probably. But a small step. The book suggests maybe just deciding, okay, before I shop, I'm going to quickly check my budget. Or maybe I'll take only the cash I plan to spend.
That's manageable. It's not a life overhaul. It's one specific small action.
Exactly. Or take exercise. Instead of, I must go to the gym for an hour every day, which, let's face it, sounds daunting.
Definitely.
The small step might be just jogging on the spot for 2 minutes every morning when you get up.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Your brain barely registers it as exercise. But you've done something, you've started, you've built that tiny thread of consistency.
And the key thing seems to be how little effort these steps feel like they require, especially at the start.
That's the genius of it, yeah. That ease makes consistency actually achievable, especially, if you've tried making big changes before and felt defeated. This feels different.
Okay, but there's a mindset piece here too, right? It's not just doing the small thing.
Absolutely crucial. The book stresses you have to believe these easy steps aren't a waste of time because they're easy. You can't dismiss them.
So value the smallness.
Yeah, embrace the kind of delight of just starting. That very first tiny step is valuable in itself. It's like dipping your toe in the water, helps you figure out if this path is even right for you without this huge commitment up front.
And then there's this idea, waiting for instinct. What's that about?
Right. So once you've been doing these small steps consistently for a while, the idea is that the task itself starts to feel, instinctive, effortless, maybe even enjoyable.
Okay.
And the advice is, Don't force the next big jump. Don't rush it. Wait. Wait until your mind sort of naturally overcomes its own reluctance and actually propels you forward.
Propels you like you genuinely want to do more.
Exactly. That feeling, that internal push is the signal that you're truly ready for the next phase, whatever that might be. Don't push before you feel that pull.
Wow. Okay, so boiling this down, what does it really mean for someone listening? It seems to suggest that tackling your biggest, scariest goals,
Yeah.
it might not start with that giant, terrifying leap we always imagine. It might just start with the tiniest, almost invisible step.
Repeatedly.
That's the core message. It flips the script on ambition, really. Small, consistent actions are the hidden engine of big change.
So, thinking about that, if waiting for your mind to propel you forward is key and you shouldn't rush, what tiny, almost effortless step could you maybe take today just to get your mind starting to lean even slightly in the direction you want to go? Something to think about. Okay, that's all. Thank you for listening.
I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Leave a comment below.
If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like and subscribe now.
Can't wait to share more incredible book insights with you next time. Bye-bye.